What would you say if I told you you could become significantly smarter in just minutes? And I'm going to make it fast, simple, and easy for you. You're absolutely going to love it. Hyperbole? Absolutely not. These are proven tools, strategies, and techniques that can increase your intelligence almost geometrically. See, most people don't need enhanced intelligence. You've been out there for X number of years, 20, 30, 40, 50. If you're like me, you've been out there 60 plus years, you have plenty of information. Yet intelligence is measured by results and the ability to access this information and to use it properly. Most people take their intelligence and they use it as much against themselves as for themselves. So let's look at the proper way to use intelligence, to boost intelligence, and not only are you going to get better results, be far smarter, you're going to feel a lot better. And I think it'll even improve your relationships. So let's jump right in. Now, the first thing that truly intelligent people do is they have dedication and they have focus. They can stay on task. They can learn one thing and focus until they've nailed it down and they have mastery. I want you to watch all the way to the end of this video. See, here's how I know that most people out there are amazingly stupid, despite having excellent intelligence. When people are watching my videos, I can see the drop-off rate. Now, I'm going to send you life-changing information that could dramatically change your life. And yet probably in the first 2 to 3 minutes, people have gotten so ADHD that anywhere from 50 to 30% of people have dropped off. Those are the idiots. They can't even be bothered to focus for in excess of 3 to 5 minutes to learn something. They think it's just not for them. I don't teach anything that's pretty much not for everybody. Everybody needs to learn about psychology, how to have a better life, how to have better relationships, how to produce better results, get more motivated. So why is there that huge drop-off rate? It's this ADHD where they've got a gold mine in front of them, but they saw a squirrel over here and they got to run over there and see what the squirrel is doing. Much more important than a mound of gold. Or they think there's a bigger gold mine over here. So they go from gold mine to gold mine to gold mine, looking through the door, seeing the gold, and then immediately closing the door and saying, "Ooh, I heard another door open. There must be another gold mine. Let's go over here." And they never grab any of the gold. That's the ultimate in stupidity. So if you do nothing else, stay focused. You are much better and much more intelligent if you use one thing. I teach you 10 things and you use one of them, you're more intelligent than somebody that if I taught them 100 things and they didn't use any of them, or 10,000 things and they didn't use any of them. See, knowledge isn't power. Knowledge is power when you apply it, when you utilize it, and when you gain what? Mastery of it. It's like I hold my pants up with a black belt. I took time to gain mastery. Now, in the physical realm, almost impossible for probably 99.9% of people to beat me. Now, I'm not the best in the whole world, but it doesn't take much to gain enough martial arts mastery to get in the top 1/10 of 1%. For starters, 98% of people can't be bothered to take even one martial arts course. Never mind, spend years and years learning it and mastering it, and then having complete safety in both physical and mental mastery for life. To ADHD. Okay, now let's move on to the next strategy. Do you know why people call me Professor Paul? Because I'm a professor. I'm the guy that teaches at university. How can I teach at university? Well, I got 4 different degrees all the way through the doctorate. I got a bachelor's, a master's, an advanced master's, and a doctorate. So, yeah, Professor Paul. And I teach bachelor's and master's level people. So in terms of being like a therapist, not only am I a therapist and known nationally and internationally, I'm the guy who trains the guy who trains the guy who might do therapy with you, your family, or your friends. Anybody you know, right? How do you gain that level of mastery? You become a really good student and enjoy learning. I enjoy learning purely selfishly. Why? Because every time I learn something, I can use it on myself, I can use it in my life, and my life gets better. and I use it very unselfishly. I'm basically, like in this training, I'm giving it away to everybody else for free. Why not? Only takes a few minutes of my time, and I can help tens of thousands of people, if not millions of people out there every single year, year after year after year, by making a video like this and sharing this knowledge. You have to gain a joy of learning. Now, there's 365 days in the year. Most people can go through an entire year and not learn more than 1, 2, or 3 significant things that are ever going to transform their lives. Most people end up with 0. That's probably 50, 60% of people or more. 0. They went an entire year and they haven't changed as a person. Why? They didn't learn anything new. They didn't master it like we just talked about, and they didn't apply it like we just talked about. Had they done that with one simple thing, their life would have dramatically changed. Now, if you learn just one thing a day, one thing, that's worth learning. I mean, I could grab any old book and, learn something out of this book and grab one strategy that would make my life better, that would add to my knowledge and add to kind of the blend of how I do things in my life. I add it as part of me, and then it becomes part of my results. That's learning. I can do that 365 times, just spending a minute or two a day. It's not that hard. So, get dedicated to reading about 5 minutes a day, or watch a 5 or 10 minute YouTube video. Cut out one TV show or something like that and dedicate yourself to learning. You'll love it. It'll be fun. And I guarantee you, but before anything like 30 days goes by, you're going to have increased your mental mastery significantly. So I'm going to share with you a quote by Einstein. Einstein said, "Here is what creates my genius. I know what I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know everything. I don't even try to know everything." He said, when it comes down to physics, and of course, this is when physics was a lot smaller field, almost 100 years ago when Einstein was kicking around. He said, boy, if I could get to a point where I knew anything like 5, maybe 10% of everything there is in a lifetime, I could learn 5 to 10% of everything there is to know about physics, I would be a genius in physics. And even then, I would only know 1/5 to 1/10 of everything there is to know about physics. I really wouldn't be that smart in it. And you know how intelligent I would be in every other area? Because all I did was physics all day long. When it came to any other topic, I would be a complete idiot. I wouldn't know hardly anything about it. But I know I don't know everything about physics. I know I don't know everything about everything else, even though people might consider me, as Einstein, the genius, must know everything, right? No, the teeniest, tiniest bit. If this screen was the entire universe of knowledge, Einstein would say, hey, here's a little dot on that screen, and that's everything I know about everything. Not much. Matter of fact, you got to lean in and squint to even see how little he knows and how much more there is to know. So don't act like you know everything. Don't try to know everything. Don't let people make you feel bad if you don't know everything, because they don't know everything. Have humility, keep learning, and always hold a question in your mind. This is what most people can't do. When they become certain, we call it mistaken certainty. You are so certain of something. Like you knock on this table and you say, this desk is made out of wood. I know that's solid. And you say, I'm certain about that. And I say, would you bet your life on that? And they said, I would bet my life on that. That's everything there is to know. Tables are hard. Wood is hard. I know that. I'm right. And if you say anything else, you're wrong. Well, there's more to know about tables. Tables are actually fibrous. So there's as much space in between the fibers as there are fibers. So actually, although you consider it hard, it's half empty space. And a martial artist could put his hand right through that. Mass times speed equals impact, and one thing's going to break. Either go fast enough and you break the board or you break your hand, but it's one or the other. So if it's that darn hard, how come I can break it? That's a different level of awareness. Don't be so certain. Then, if you actually go down with a microscope, you see beyond the fibers, there's molecules. And again, more space between the molecules than the molecules take up. Go down to the level of atoms. The atoms, there's so much space between atoms. If I had an atom here and an atom over here, this would be like the difference between planet Earth and the moon. They'd be these two tiny little balls, and what would be in between? Just a boatload of space. And molecules move around. When things move around, is that a solid or a liquid? It's a liquid. It's just a very slow moving liquid. So it's mostly empty space. It's also a liquid. What are atoms made out of? Oh, people say, well, those are quarks and vibration and light and all these different things. None of those things are solid. So at a very rudimentary level of understanding, tables are hard. But that's the beginning of knowledge, not the end of knowledge. They call that the table analogy. Don't be so certain. Say, yes, tables are hard. That's true on a certain level. You're not wrong. But is that all there is to learn? No. Always think, no matter how much I know, there's more to learn. Even in science, when you've got the greatest experts in the world and they've come up with their definitive study of something, I can guarantee you, within 10, 20, 30 years, however long it takes, somebody will come up with a new distinction, new distinction, new distinction. Sometimes a radical rethink, especially now that we're doing things like quantum theory. That's a whole rethink on the entire universe. We thought we knew it. Einstein thought he knew it. And then he said, oops, quantum theory. Now I got to rethink everything. Be open to learning. Be eager to learn. Kung Fu students, they beg at the feet of the master to learn one more thing. And they know no matter how much they learn, they can never learn it all. There's more to learn. And that doesn't mean you're at a deficit because you don't know everything. That means it's exciting because when I can learn and learn and learn, I can grow and grow and grow. God help me on the day that I can't learn anymore because I'm dead as a human being. I've reached perfection. That's it. My life is crapped out. There's no more improvement to be had. That's it. That's when life is boring. So always keep a question mark. Always be learning. And always be willing to make new distinctions. And even find out that some things you thought were right. Hey, they were completely wrong. It's okay. Whenever I find out something that's wrong, I don't feel bad and say, oh, I was an idiot. I believed this for years. And then I told other people about it. I say, thank goodness they told me now instead of later that this was wrong, so I don't continue this error. And now I can act more intelligently and get better results based on this new information. And I am excited to find an error. It's kind of like finding out that you were driving in your car and you're not getting the speed you want and you're getting lousy gas mileage and you have this horrible smell in your car. It smells like something's burning. And then you realize, oh, I forgot to disengage the parking brake. I didn't even know this car came with one. I just bought the thing, a week ago. And I'm like, geez, they told me it'd have all kinds of power. Like an idiot, I left the parking brake on. Yes. But like a genius, I can disengage the parking brake and immediately everything will go better in my life. That's what finding a mistake is. Some of your best leaps in life forward in intelligence is finding your errors and eliminating them, not hiding them, not denying them, not believing that they don't exist. Believe that they exist and start seeking them out. Now, here's a great way to become a genius. Focus on the one. Brian Tracy used to talk about this quite a bit. He said, if you want to be successful, here's how you do it. Don't be a jack of all trades, master of none. The highest paid people find a high paid job, a profession that has, it's exponential. You can grow and grow and grow. They study it and then they study it again and again and again. They keep mastering it, perfecting it, tweaking it, but they don't shift. They don't start selling real estate, then start selling cars, then go and do an online business and then start Facebooking and YouTubing and this type of stuff. No, they do one thing and they get better and better and better and they never stop. And pretty soon there's not one person in a million that can match them. And those people are paid amazingly well. Now, it'll take you a little while, so don't plant a seed today and come back tomorrow and expect to see a tree. That's what an idiot does. They kick the seed out of the ground. They said, they told me this would work, and it's been 30 days, and I haven't made $1 million yet. Well, would it be a horrible thing if it took you 3 or 4 years of mastering something to make $1 million? Most people won't make that in their lifetime. In 3 or 4 years, that would be considered rapid and massive success. So, plant the seed, water it, fertilize it, grow it, keep learning, keep developing, keep getting better, and you will gain true mastery, and you'll be worth a fortune too. Now, you can do this in any area of your life, but I like to look at the work function because, hey, work pays you money, and we can count money, and you can see how you're doing in this area. It's easy to what? It's easy to measure. But gain that mastery in one area and just keep pounding on it. Every day, if you're getting better and better and better, you're also going to feel better and better about yourself. You're going to have better and better results. You're going to go higher and higher. Sky's the limit. And pretty soon, you're going to be above, again, that 99.999% of everybody else. And how cool is that? What a great accomplishment that is. And it takes all the stress off, because I don't have to try to master 10 things and beat everybody out and be constantly distracted and not know what to focus on. Focus on the one, and you will gain true mastery and genius in that area and massive results. Do you know how they measure intelligence in America? It's called IQ, Intelligent Quotient. All it means is we guess at what you were taught at school, even though we never went to your school. There's no standardization, even though they may say there is. I don't know what books you read, how your teachers taught, what the lesson plans were. I don't know any of this stuff, but I'm going to give you a test. So again, completely unfair. And if you're of average intelligence, you're going to hit a score of 100. If you are between 90 and 110, 100 being the absolute exact median, you're considered of normal IQ. If you're below 90 or lower IQ, get below, I think it's 60 or 70, you're borderline intellectual functioning, and below that, mental retardation. And no, it's not special. It's called mental retardation. That's where you're at. You're retarded mentally. That's okay. We've made that into a bad word somehow. If you go above 110, well, now you're kind of low-level genius. Then you get up around 130, 135. That's about moderate-level genius. Oh, God, you get above 150, you're pretty much high-level genius and beyond. There's even a Mensa Club for people that, hit those really high numbers. You got to be in the top, I think, 1 or 2% to be in Mensa of all the IQ scores. But IQ is a lousy way to measure intelligence, so we're finding that out. If you're a genius artistically, doesn't count. If you're a genius mechanically, you could build a whole house from scratch by yourself. My dad could do that. He just figured it out. I don't even know if anybody ever taught him. Who would have done that? I don't think his dad ever did it. I'm sure his dad didn't do it. Mechanical genius, doesn't count. If you're a really good person, you have a very high emotional IQ. You'd be a good therapist like me. 0 points. So there's all kinds of different ways to measure IQ. Here's how I like to measure it. At the end of the day, okay, there's health and there's wealth, and that's the money and physical ability and longevity and those things that I love to teach. But this is the psychology part of my trainings. So I love the part where you're the best person you can possibly be. You have that emotional IQ. You're good, you're kind, you're loving. People like to be around you. You're always willing to help other people. Just saying, what's the next right thing to do? How could I help people at a little bit higher level? Well, I did this for this person, but could I do a little bit extra? Could I do that extra, 1%, 10%, whatever it is? How can I be more useful to people? How can I be more good, kind, or loving? Because I'll tell you, if you're a dick, if you're just a complete and utter jerk, I don't care how healthy, wealthy, or wise you are, you're a worthless individual. That's it. You have no real value in life, and you're probably not going to enjoy your life. So genius is the ability to help as many people as possible, to be across from somebody and make them feel good, to teach them something, to make their life better. If I want to make my life better, you know how I do it? I do videos like this so I can make other people's lives better. This is the highest purpose I can have. Yes, I have to have health, and yes, I have to have enough money in the bank. That takes care of me. I couldn't wait to get enough money in the bank where I had attitude money and I basically have retirement money. I've got, I'm worth over $1 million now, so I don't have to worry about money anymore. I can just do whatever I want to do all day long. And what's the very first thing I did? I said, how can I help more people? So I started making courses and courses and courses. Now I'm going through YouTube, and of course I lead people from my YouTube channel to my membership site so they can get even higher level trainings where they can get more contact with me, and I can spend more time with them and really take time and give them the best of the best of the best of my stuff and just push the knowledge out there, low cost or no cost, to as many people as humanly possible. That is a good use of my life. And in my everyday interactions, always trying to do the next nice thing, help somebody out. I think that is the highest level of purpose and of genius. Give it a try. Want to get rapidly better in any area in record time? I'm going to tell you how to do it. Now don't go ADHD on me, watch all the way to the end, right? Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe to make sure you get all my content so you can rapidly learn from me, right? I'm just pouring it out there. And that's what the next tip is. Steal from the best. Learn from the best. You got to grab the strategies that I'm teaching you here because they've taken me anywhere from a year to 10 years to 20 years to 30 years to 40 years to 50 years. Some things I'm still figuring out in my 60s. But I share them with you instantly, and I put them in small bite-sized chunks. That's why you should be able to watch a 20 or 30-minute video for things that cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars and decades of my life to learn, and I'm sharing it with you. I'm literally just handing it to you like a gift, and you can't be bothered to spend 20 minutes when I spent 40 years learning that? Yeah, learn from the best. So, I like books. Here's a fun book. Grab this one. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description below if I think of it. But you can certainly Google it and find it on Amazon at a decent price, right? This guy spent his entire life, Mark Manson, learning how to not give a damn about things that aren't worth giving a damn about. It's a lot of Zen philosophies. This is kind of like a popular version of Zen philosophy, written in just kind of, his sardonic wit. And it's funny as heck, but it's also very poignant. It's good cover to cover. So this took his entire life to learn. You can spend, what did I pay for this book? $26.99. I probably got it for about $12 on Amazon. Got it in the nice hardcover, spent the extra $2 or $3. Maybe I spent $20 on it. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm very cheap, so I don't like to spend extra, but I like to have the hard copy. So I get 40 years of his knowledge. Probably takes me about 12 or 15 hours to read the book. Entirely enjoyable. Just skip a couple of TV shows. And then by the end of the month, I've read the whole book. Wow. 20 years accomplished in under 30 days. That is a legitimate cheat for gaining knowledge rapidly. I think YouTube, where we just kind of speak it out and just hand it to you, we don't have to go through the massive verbiage. I don't have to teach you the 30 techniques that he has in here and take 162 pages or 15 hours to teach you. I could probably teach you 30 techniques. I can teach a technique about every 3 minutes and teach it really well, which means it would take me about 90 minutes in a video or about 16 to 20 hours in a book. Now, if you like to drill down and have a little bit more detail, maybe a book's better. There's pluses and minuses. But start collecting the best sources of information, especially something like this on YouTube. We marked it down to free. We brought it to your house. You can watch it anytime you want. You can rewatch it and save it as a favorite. New stuff coming out all the time. That is a great way to become a genius. I think the millennials and the younger kids are learning this and becoming cool to the fact that you can learn faster on YouTube. just be very careful about the source. Try to find somebody, that's like me. You got 4 different degrees. You've used it on yourself. You've used it with thousands of students. You've used it in therapy. You've run multi-million-dollar organizations. You really know your stuff. Not somebody who's wet behind the ears with glow lights behind them, trying to develop a beard because they're only like 20 or 30 years old and they're just copying other people's stuff, and they're really good at presenting on YouTube and reading off a script and has a very expensive camera and teleprompter, and they're just copying stuff. They'll probably be copying my stuff. I think I've seen a few of my pieces out there. I say, wow, those are Paulisms. Those are, trademarked. But thank you for stealing from the best and taking my stuff. That's a compliment. But use good quality sources and get the learning fast. Now, here's your last tip. We talked about learning from others and grabbing stuff from YouTube videos and books and trainings and seminars and webinars and places where you can get the information fast. One of the best sources is mentors, because they're a living source of information. And even if they were to sit there and teach you, hey, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk to you for 3 hours about everything Professor Paul knows about wealth, and that's all we're going to do. Great. But there's no way for you to ask a book, a training, or a video a question. And that may tease something out in my mind that I would have never thought to have mentioned, but because you asked the question, I know that that's important specifically to you, and I will give you a very good answer for that. That's why I like my membership site, the Life Transformation Academy, where I can have this back and forth and conversations with people, and not just talk about generalities about health, wealth, and mental psychology topics, but drill down into what's really important in your life, what's going to make a difference in your life, what you've been craving to learn. You say, oh my God, I've watched 100 videos on anxiety and I still don't know how to deal with it. Professor Paul, how would you deal with this? And I will give you a handwritten prescription for you, the exact right 3 things to do to make a dramatic change right now in your anxiety. Not try to find these 3 things by looking through 100 different videos and 200 different books. I'm just going to hand it to you. So mentors can do that for you. And they're also a source of encouragement and support. I hope I'm encouraging you and supporting you as I go through these videos. I mean, in my heart, I would never do these videos unless I wanted you to do amazing out there. So if you ever have any questions, you got any major problems, you say, hey, Paul, can you do a video on this? Go ahead and put it in the comments down below. I try to get to all those as quick as I can and to answer people. And if I don't, put it down in my next video. Maybe I missed it on one video, but I'll see it on the other. And maybe, delays aren't denials. You may say, hey, could you do a video on this? Well, 20 people are going to tell me to make 20 different videos in the time that I can only make one. So I've got to pick one out of the 20. But hey, keep voting, keep trying. On one given day, I'll see your suggestion that'll be particularly compelling to me. I'm just in that phase of my life, and I'll probably make that video on it. But get out there and try to collect as many mentors as you can. And what I tell people is to do it holistically. So you're creating a network of mentors. And look at the major areas of life. I do the life transformation with the healthy, wealthy, and wise model. Because you got to be healthy, you got to be wealthy, and you got to be wise. It's like a 3-legged stool. And if you're missing any one of those, your life falls apart. But if you got all 3, you're undefeatable and you'll have a great life. Networks are the same way. Make sure you've got all the major areas. Do you have a mentor for wealth? Do you have one for health? Do you have one for psychology? But then it gets wider than just what Professor Paul can do. Do you have one that's a medical doctor if you ever need a script or a very specific expertise in medicine? How about legal? You need that. How about finance, taxes, loans? Maybe an expert in real estate, because at some point you're going to purchase a place or make some money in real estate. So there's lots of different areas that you need people that have expertise. I love people that are really handy because it seems like something's always breaking around my house. Cars are designed to break down. You need somebody that's an expert auto mechanic, somebody that's a handyman. So there's all kinds of different areas of expertise. So you want to find people in all these areas. People say, well, I got 3 friends and that's enough. You should have some mentors too that can either do the thing for you, give you a decent referral, teach you about the thing, or at least give you some good, handy advice on it. So grab as many mentors as you can and try to start filling in those holes. So you want to be a genius? Let me make it fast, simple, and easy for you. Go over to my website, whop.com/life-transformation, and you can get on my website. You're going to have access to me, bunch of articles, bunch of ebooks. I'm putting new resources up all the time. I've got a long training series on how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. We nail the 3 areas. I do weekly live webinars with people. You can message me and we can have contact that way. It gives you a lot more access to me. It's just a fast, simple, and easy way to get everything that you need in one spot. And I'll tell you, if you got those 3 areas nailed, everything else will be ancillary and easy to fix. Miss one of those areas, and your life can go right down the toilet. Protect your life, grow your life, and create excellence in your life. And then please do me a favor. Take the strategies and tools that I teach you on this membership site, and of course through all my YouTube videos as well, and share it with as many people as humanly possible. I don't have to make money every time I teach something. I don't care. I'm doing this YouTube channel. I don't care if I make penny number 1. I want to make sure that I get to as many people as humanly possible with life-changing information, especially for those people that say, you can't afford my membership site. I was in that spot, where I couldn't afford just a few dollars a month. It was like skipping a cup of coffee at Starbucks, but I couldn't afford a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Thank goodness there were some sources out there and some people that would just help me for free. I want to be that person for you on YouTube. Just help you as much as humanly possible for free. And then if you want some extra resources, go over to my membership site, entirely up to you. But again, help as many people as humanly possible. That is my wish for you. Share the wealth with as many people as you can find, as many people as listen. That's what I'm doing. Hey, are you getting benefit from this? Are you loving this? Are you learning new strategies? Do you love the content that you've seen here over time? Don't miss out. Go ahead and click the link below, like and subscribe. That way you'll get all our content. We're pumping out content as fast as we can to make sure that you have the tools, strategies, and techniques to have an amazing and successful life. We just want to hand you the wisdom and tools that you need to achieve the level of excellence that's already inside you.